Prerequisites to Catherine healing the rift between William and Harry. Just Meghan, go away. So, the royal family's resident pacifist certainly is Catherine, the Princess of Wales. I don't think anybody is going to deny that fact. The 41-year-old mother of three is so famous for being their safe pair of hands in even the most difficult times. And she is certainly needed when anybody tries to soothe tensions between Prince Harry and the rest of the family. I'm telling you, folks, Catherine is amazing. I mean, that woman has the patience of a saint. And according to the Daily Beast, Catherine's husband, William, the Prince of Wales, is not anywhere close to forgiving his younger brother for a few years' worth of slights, but Catherine is encouraging him to look to the future. According to New Idea, Catherine is going to be taking center stage at Balmoral Castle at a summer summit in the next few days. King Charles apparently plans on putting a very long list of Mountbatten Windsor issues to rest once and for all, and of course, included in this list is what to do about their ongoing problems with Harry and his wife Meghan. The insider says it's been a year since the Queen passed, and it's more than overdue that they work on healing this terrible rift. It's what she would have wanted, and Charles is reminding people of that. William is still angry, though, and struggles with the idea of making any concessions towards Harry. Well, of course, that is where Catherine enters the picture. Now, Harry is going to arrive in London on September 7th. He's going to be there at the annual Wellchild Awards. And according to the source, Kate believes there's no way they can fix things until the two brothers get in the same room and air out their grievances to each other. It's the only way. There can be no healing without Harry's presence. And where Catherine comes in is apparently she is urging the king to extend to Harry an invitation to his Scottish Highlands estate next week. The family's going to be together to mark 1 year since the Queen passed away. I don't know, it's going to be pretty tricky though, because I think we need to remember Harry is not even going to be spending much time in the UK. He's going to be headed to Dusseldorf to launch the latest Invictus Games on September 9th. So I'm afraid they don't have much time to make this happen. Catherine is going to have to work some magic. There's a separate source who has weighed in, saying there's something poignant about Kate pushing for a reunion between the boys on the anniversary of Her Majesty's death in the same place in which they all said goodbye to her. And the first insider also said Kate's having to walk a fine line between loyalty to the crown and her husband, but she's getting William used to the inevitable. He needs a face-to-face with Harry. She's very canny, suggesting Balmoral as the place to go for peace talks. The brothers are more likely to be calm and rational, surrounded by memories of their grandmother. I think by now you all know I'm a huge fan of Catherine, because not only is she such an amazing peacemaker, she's also gorgeous and she's incredibly intelligent. She's put up with a lot from Meghan and Harry, and she knows what they're all about. So if anybody can handle them, I am sure it's her. Now, if you think about it, the relationship between Catherine and Meghan is actually pretty interesting, because in some ways, the two women really get each other. Catherine understands what type of person Meghan is, and Meghan on some level does know that she cannot hold a candle to Catherine. And she also knows that Catherine knows what she's up to. So she knows she can't be all tricky if Catherine is there at any talks. And according to the latest PR news, Meghan expressed resistance to Catherine's involvement in the peace talks with the king. I think we all know why. Because, see, she knows that as long as Catherine is involved, she's not going to be able to fool people. Honestly, though, I don't know what Meghan's problem is. I mean, why does she need to keep this drama going? Sometimes when I really think about it, I don't even understand why Meghan is so resistant to Harry making peace with his family. I mean, this drama has not been nearly as lucrative as she thought it would be. Alright, so we're expected to believe that reconciliation is just around the corner. But I don't know, folks, I'm a little bit doubtful. It just looks to me like Meghan Markle is still way too involved, and we know as long as she's got her nose stuck in all of this, there is not going to be any peace. I'm just a little bit doubtful that any peace talks are really happening, and I'm a little bit doubtful of this claim that Catherine is so involved. If you ask me, this is just more garbage coming from Meghan's PR people. They do love to let it out, don't they? I mean, the thing about it is, she's getting desperate because she knows that her fame is slipping away. She knows that all she has is her connection to the royal family, and that is disappearing quickly. So if you ask me, the reality is there probably aren't any peace talks happening. I mean, except in Meghan's mind. She's getting incredibly desperate. Meghan, though, well, it's her fault that she's in this mess. You know we've all been saying how karma's going to come back to get her. Well, it looks like it's finally happening. But what does she want us to do about it? Does she really expect all of us to feel sorry for her? I hope not, because we're just laughing. And what about Harry? Oh my goodness. Well, he's probably so deluded he thinks that he's winning this little war. The fact is, I don't even see this as a war. I see this as a little baby pitching a fit in the floor, being so disrespectful to the father who supported him for his whole life. A father who gave him so much money for shelter, for food, for clothing, and also provided him with an excellent education. Say what you want about King Charles. I know he's not perfect, but at the same time, he was not a bad father. He tried his best to teach Harry how to grow up to be a man with dignity. But obviously, Harry wasn't listening, or maybe he was listening and he just didn't understand. I do suspect that that ginger head is completely empty. Maybe Meghan gave half her brain to him so they could always think together. It sounds like something she would do, doesn't it? I think she wasn't using that half anyway, so she might as well get rid of it. Now, a royal commentator has weighed in, saying that the peace talks are a peace talk and PR crock. Her PR of peace talks is an admission from her camp that there's been a war. Who declared that war? The belligerents were the Harkles. Well, yeah, indeed. They invaded Poland and blitzed London. The aggression started with the Orca interview. Since that time, it's been springtime for Hitler, winter for Poland and France. I don't know, folks. I mean, it kind of does look like things are changing now. It looks like Meghan and Harry have lost a lot of their power. And as they are losing power, the royal family is only gaining power. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how all this turns out. When you think about it, at the end of the day, this is just a family fight. Now, my family, we have had our problems, but never before have our problems become elevated to something on an international scale between warring sovereign states requiring peace talks and negotiation. Let's get a real sense of proportion here. It just shows how inflated Meghan's own estimation is and how delusional she and Harry are. She's an aggressive bully, but she claims that she's this victim and she needs an apology. She and Harry need peace talks because they're wanting to return to the royal family. The royal family, by the way, that both of them ran away from in a huff over allegations and these perceived slights, and they attacked incessantly with what have been proven lies. Mostly unsubstantial allegations, just because Meghan is in a difficult position right now. And so she's wanting forgiveness, but it always has to be on her terms, remember, so that way she can still come out on top. She can be the winner. She's not going to be groveling. She can't do that. Her narcissistic ego couldn't handle it. And that's why she needs these peace talks, as she calls them. And she's emphasizing that she's got to be there if the Princess of Wales is going to be there. I mean, only somebody like Meghan Markle could come up with this nonsense. I swear that woman has holes in her brain. I mean, it's like Swiss cheese, but I wouldn't dare take a bite. It's probably a laxative. I certainly don't need Meghan Markle down there unclogging my bowels. And the UK does not want either Meghan or Harry back, I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe some of your Brits in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see why anybody would want them because they're toxic. I think the closest that Meghan is going to get is maybe in a paddle boat with Harry grinning at the camera. Now, I suspect that if the royal family were to allow them to come back, I mean, I don't believe they would, but anyway, I think it would be a really bad thing for the monarchy. I'm sure, though, they're going to be careful with this. I mean, after all, they've got Catherine, and she knows what's up. At this point, everybody just laughs at the way that Harry and Meghan try to portray themselves as these amazing humanitarians. I mean, the entire world knows the gig is up. I'm just not sure why they're still clinging on to it. And you, what do you think about them? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share with your friends and relatives who would love it too. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.